If you want to crochet this, or maybe this, or maybe this, well, here's how to crochet any cardigan you want, using any stitch, anything that you find on Pinterest, anything you find on Etsy, TikTok, whatever. This is the ultimate recipe to crochet cardigans. You may or may not know me, but I have my own crochet channel, Belle's Create, and it's actually completely filled with crochet cardigan tutorials because I just use the same output, and in my comments always like, oh, this is the easiest way to do it, this is such a simple way, da 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 da. Because it really is not that difficult. Cardigans might seem scary, daunting, this huge long project, and you've just been sticking to your hats, which no shame to hats, those are fun, but they're fun little beginner projects. If you want to up your crochet game and everyone's like, oh, you know, it's getting cold out, it's winter, and even in summer, and you want to up your game and make a really long project, you have to start with crochet cardigans. And I'm gonna let you in a little secret: rectangles. All crochet cardigans are rectangles. That's all they're made up of. The sleeves, 2 rectangles, the back, 1 rectangle, and then the front is just 2 rectangles. First method I'm going to be teaching you is the all-at-once method. This is good for solid cardigans, sideways striped cardigans, any type of just your basic plain cardigan. And it's the easiest one. You can just crochet across. So we start by working on the sleeve. You make the length of the sleeve that you want and the width of the sleeve you want. And then all you're going to do once you finish that sleeve is chain a number, any number, but it's basically going to be how long you want the cardigan to be. So you just measure that against your body, or measure whatever. So you just chain, you connect it back to the sleeve. So we're not sewing anything, we're just going to crochet right in. You connect it back to the sleeve, you're going to single crochet or slip stitch, just like your hidden secret row. And then you're just going to chain the same number that you chained before. So now you have your sleeve in this long chain. And this is where we're going to start the body. Without any sew, it just goes straight in, and you just complete the same stitch along that long line, and it makes a beautiful cardigan. And then you're just going to get to, we're working on the front and the back at the same time. So now we need a spot for our neck, because this isn't a sweater or just a shawl, whatever. But you need a spot for your neck, so all you're going to do is cut it in half, because the front and the back are the same width, same length as each other. So you're just going to cut the number change you had in half, and only work on the back side for the width of the neck. Usually it'll too me, like, depending on the stitch you're using, but like, when I use like half double crochets, it'll be 7 to 9 rows. And then once you're done working on just the back part, we're going to go back to that long thing that we started and do the same thing on the other side. And you just start by chaining the chains, the other half, chaining the front half that you had before, and you're just going to keep repeating the pattern, making the sleeve the same. Back on the sleeve, so once you have the width of the body you want again, and once you have the width of the body that you want again, you're just going to cut it off, count how much in it is, like so that chain that you made before, and then start the sleeves again. And then you have a big blob that you can just sew together, add ribbing to, da 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 da. But that is such one of the simplest ways I think it is to make a cardigan, instead of, oh, make this, sew it together. It's basically the same thing as making the 5 rectangles apart, but now you have sewing less, because sometimes you can see where you start sewing and has a little line. It's not really my favorite. Like, I don't want to have lines all over the place so you can see where I sew. So I just am a straight crochet through row. The second method, because the all-at-once method does not always work with everything. So for example, if you want to make if you want to make a cardigan that is striped side to side, like a picture I'm going to put up, you can't use the all-at-once method because you're not going to be crocheting that way. I mean, you could, but it'll just be more difficult. So what you do is we're going to start by making the back rectangle first, right? Honestly, sometimes I do use this method because I actually almost prefer this method because it helps you with your sleeve length. And then I'm going to give you tips at the end because sometimes sleeves are iffy. But if you want to do stripes across, then you can work on your body part first. So first you're going to work on the back part, and you're just going to make a rectangle for as long and as wide as you want to cover your back. And then you're just going to make 2 rectangles that are equal, that add up to the same as the back, but leaving space for the neck and the opening in the front. So then you'll just have, what will you have? What would that be? Just a bigger square with bigger rectangle with two skinnier rectangles. And then you will add, counting from the middle, the half point, you're going to evenly add the sleeves going in and out from each side. So you have to like put the rectangle and perfectly place it. And what I like to do is I like to know how long. You can measure out how wide you want your sleeve to be, and then you cut it in half, and then you have to count that far from the center. So you're just like counting in. You crochet your sleeve down. What I was saying before with this method, sometimes the sleeve can come out longer than the other one, but honestly I've made plenty of crochet cardigans with the all at once method, and it still comes out fine because I kind of like the long sleeve comfy look, like you're just like this and you're cozy, But if you want thinner, different sleeves, then it's good. The second method is preferable, but still, once again, we're not gonna be sewing as much because we crocheted all the pieces together to get the same blob but in a different order. Third method, it's not really a method, it's still the similar concept, but if you want to do granny squares, or even if you just want to add a bunch of random squares and add them up, or rectangle shapes, whatever, and add them up into the 5 rectangles that we originally have, you can do that too. So like with granny squares, that's all they're really doing is they're making the back, they're making the front too, and they're making the sides again. So that is basically all you will ever need to make any cardigan, but I have extra little tips that also help this out. So a disclaimer that this is going to take a trial and error. It helps to watch tutorials first, which I have on my channel if you wouldn't mind. It helps to watch tutorials first so you can get the grasp of it. There's like, I have beginner ones on my channel that you can kind of see this concept in general. Even if you don't want to use the same stitch, you don't use the same length, whatever, it's good to watch my tutorials because they have what I said, but like you physically see it. So in my one tutorial, I use half double crochet, but you can literally use the same thing, well, changing up the measurements with the same concept method, the all at once method that I was talking about, and just change up the stitch. Use any stitch you want, make it meshy, make it and that's kind of what I do in my other tutorials. I basically use the same method, but I just change up the stitch. I'm basically giving y'all saying that I'm fake and take the easy way out, but that's beside the point. But basically I'm saying all you need to do is practice. I mean, I love cardigans because it's just so relaxing. I'm just a half double crochet girl, so I'm able to do my work and just half double crochet because, you know, it gets to a point when you made so many cardigans and done so many half double crochets, you have it ingrained in your brain, so I don't have to look. I can just read, do my work, watch a show, and just bang out a cardigan. Thing to sleeves, to the bottom, to this. You can look up so many tutorials, but what I like to use is just single crochet back loop, single crochet back stitch, where you only go through one part of the single crochet, the back part. I'm not going to demonstrate, it's not a crochet tutorial, it's just more of a concepts discussion. But that's for ribbing and adding all that other stuff, but sometimes you're going to want to add buttons too, which also is not too crazy. You're going to measure the size of the button and you just chain, like you make a gap in your ribbing. So like say if you want your ribbon to be like single crochet, sorry I'm using myself, but say you want your ribbon to be single crochet and my button is like 3 chains wide. Basically you want to measure beforehand, then all I'm going to do is do my single crochet, skip 1 stitch, and chain 3. And that's going to make a little gap. In the next row, you just go single crochet through everyone, single crochet in the gap, whatever. But it has created that hole that you can just create and put the button through. And then also, sorry, I'm really talking with my hands. But also, for pockets, all you have to do is crochet a square, and you're just going to sew sides and the bottom so that you don't even put it to the top. But honestly, that one's not too crazy. Another extra tip is that sometimes like crochet stuff, even like crochet tops, like they just look stiff and like even when I make crochet tops and I'm putting them on, I'm just like, ow, like I literally scratch myself. But you run that bad boy through the dryer, you know, a few times, it is so flowy, loosey goosey. But like I was saying before, the sleeves, if you plan on doing this, if you plan on steaming any of your pieces, ironing them, whatever, blocking them, your sleeves might stretch a little longer than you want them to, so you have to be careful. I like to crochet, pointing to myself like crazy, I like to crochet my sleeves a little bit shorter. But like I said, this was through trial and error. I had made so many cardigans for people. My grandmother was literally like, take this back, remake this cardigan 50 times because it is not the right size for me and I'm a queen. I don't, whatever. But she's saying her sleeves are too long, and I mean, I'm really like, that's the style, Gma. We like oversized things over here. But they were too long for her, but that's because she's literally like this big. That's besides the point. But all in all, tip, just do your sleeves a little shorter, because once you put them through the dryer, once you steam them, whatever, they're going to expand. Of course, not too short, but in the end, you really could go back and redo it. That is the great thing about crochet. Scissors, add a hook. That's amazing. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you understood what I was saying. I'm going to try to add some pictures and diagrams because I have my little iPad. But honestly, I'm not really that good at drawing on it yet. So you're going to see diagrams. And hopefully you can understand them. Will they be pretty? Will they be nice? No promises. No promises. But I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial and that you were able to grow your cardigan community, because honestly, this is all I'm doing right now. Even in the summer, I would not be surprised if I'm just straight crocheting cardigans, because they are my absolute favorite thing to make. Please give it a like and subscribe. Like I said before, I have lots of crochet tutorials on my account. This is actually one of my first speaking videos. I did one a while ago, but like, let's be real, I don't even count that. She's still up there, but I don't even count that. But I'm having a great time in college, and as a student athlete, it is hard to find time to crochet, and sometimes I just need to crochet without recording. So that's what I've been doing with my mother's cardigan, because it's also black, so you also can't really see what the heck I'm even making because it's black. And I've already made a tutorial for this, but besides the point, I probably won't be posting anything about it. But I hope you enjoyed my college room. It's not a college dorm, it's like a little, not even an apartment, but the athletes get this. But I hope you enjoyed it. I made it aesthetic, as pleasing as I could. But like, if I turn the camera left, right, up, down, you'd be like, huh. Anyways, bye.